Just want to talk to you today about the reasons why all surfers should go to the very top of the wave to perform their manoeuvres. In the early part of a surfer's development, surfers tend to go through the middle of the wave, neither hitting the bottom nor the top of the wave. As soon as possible, surfers should try and break that habit. And the reasons for going to the performing moves at the very top of the wave is number one is this is the steepest part of the wave is located, and therefore it's where the most usable power can be sourced. Going to the top of the wave allows more of the surfboard surface to break free of the wave surface. Therefore, less effort is required to turn the surfboard. The other thing is at the end of most of the turns that you perform when you perform them off the top, you finish the manoeuvre halfway down the wave face, which allows the surfer to maintain their speed out of the turn with the assistance of gravity to drive into the next manoeuvre. And finally, because the surfer performs more efficient and powerful turns off the top, more success and fun can be had when surfing daily. Okay, to show some examples of this, and here's the first one. You can see a surfer takes off, and their natural thing to do is to go through the middle of the wave as much as possible, not really going to the top and not going to the bottom. Admittedly, this is a flatter type of wave, which doesn't give them a lot of opportunity, but the principle applies that they're tending to come off and go down to there and up to there and then down again, but not where they go down and up all the way. And that's a typical thing you see at the early stages of surfing, where they tend to just take off and go through, or take off and just do little up and down, but not really the whole way. Now, the reason why we want to go to the very top of the wave is because that's where the most power is. And if we have a look at a wave in profile, side on, you can see here that here's the lip pitching out. But if you look down in here, you can see the wave is a bit like this. If someone comes off the bottom and drives right to the top, they maximize the power that can be attained, because up in this area here is where the steepest part of the wave, and the wave is actively trying to throw out, so all the power is concentrated there. If, on the other hand, the surfer only comes up and goes half or 2/3 of the way up, it's flatter in nature, and the power isn't as concentrated as it is up here in the lip area or at the very top of the wave. When the surfer does go all the way to the top of the wave, you can see they come up to the top of the wave and they can do their turn more effectively because they're at the top. When we have a look at a cutback situation here, you can see the surfer comes out and doesn't just drive to there, but takes it right to the top of the wave to begin their turn. And again, the reason for it is because there's more power up there, and also they can get the board on the rail in a more effective and controlled manner. And of course, if someone does come along and they do start their turn, you can see in this case they start their turn halfway up the wave face. What happens is at the end of the turn, they end up finishing the turn at the bottom of the wave. And in this case here, you can see the surfer finishes the turn here, and the first thing they have to do is they start to bounce to try and get their speed going again. This is compared to the surfer here, who comes off the bottom and goes more to the top of the wave, up to the very top of the wave, and they do their turn, and you can see that the turn is halfway up the wave when it finishes. Therefore, what happens is that as they drop down the wave face more, gravity is assisting them to move into the next maneuver of the ride. Okay, so it's much more efficient. It's much more controlled. So the difference here is this surfer here should have driven out and up to go to the top of the wave to do a better turn, because they actually physically went to the top of the wave. And this is really one of the critical things about it, is that at this point here, this surfer on the right has got gravity helping them to drop to the bottom of the wave because of the fact that they started their maneuver at the very top. And finally, with the surfer going to the top of the wave, when they experience more efficient turns, more control through the turns because of all of the factors spoken about before, they just enjoy their surfing more. So if you're a surfer who now surfs through the middle of the wave and tends to stay away from the top, get up to the top of the wave and you'll find that your surfing will become more enjoyable, and because you'll be able to play with the entire wave surface, not just the middle and bottom of the wave.